What's up, guys? Frugal BC. Today we are talking Hedera. That's right, we got a whole slate of Hedera news, including Hedera being all over Davos and the World Economic Forum conference. That's right, Hedera is getting in front of the elites. We're going to look at that and look at some footage of their representation there. And that's from a guy who actually is there and it went on the Mario Nafal space recently. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the state of Hedera from the Masari analytics report. That is always fun. I always love diving into those, and I haven't even looked at it yet. So we're going to look at that together. And we're going to talk about a partnership between XRP and Hedera, as well as a new governing council member for Hedera. That's right, we got that going on. And we're going to look at Hedera making the top 10 of all Coin Daily's coins to watch. So all that on today's Frugal BC. Before we do that, guys, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love it if you'd hit that like and subscribe button. Now remember, you don't have to smash it. You just press it gently. Works just fine that way too. And very quick shout out to our sponsors, since this is not an Algorand video, but we are brought to you by Non-Fungible Domains. It's a great way to take your super long address in Algorand and turn it into a .algo address. And also by Fractal Monsters, a play-to-earn game on the Algorand blockchain, kind of like Tamagotchi and Pokemon combined together. And both of those are in the link description below, plus a bunch of other stuff I recommend, so check that out. Also interested in Hedera-based sponsors, we are open to that. So if you're a company building on Hedera and you got a good track record, let us know. Contact in the description, and otherwise, let's get to this video. The first one I want to talk about is Hedera getting a brand new governing council member. Now, there was some talk about this a while ago. It's official. It's kind of old news right now, but definitely worth looking at it. So let's take a look at this. That says, we are excited to announce that Hitachi US has joined the Hedera Council, bringing with it industrial solutions expertise and aim to begin creating proof of concepts for end-to-end supply chain and sustainability solutions in the next year. And we know this is something that's super important to the Hedera ecosystem, this idea of supply chain management. And it's something that I think, with Algorand and Hedera both have in common. They both have a lot of promise in this area. Hedera with its gossip protocol, which Algorand is going to be adding something similar. Now, I don't know how similar those are, but they are adding a gossip protocol as part of their roadmap that we announced recently. So it should be interesting to see these two competitors that are both have this ethos. I think it's kind of fun to watch both of them. Also excited about this was Hitachi itself, USA. They said, thrilled to join the Hedera Council. We're excited to unlock numerous industrial possibilities through the Hedera platform. So this is really an industrial focus, and I think that's super interesting. With asset tokenization and fractional ownership capabilities, Hitachi's social innovation business will enable unconventional engagement models. Cool stuff. It's a way to say that. I think this is really cool, and fractional ownership is really interesting. So one of the things that I've been involved with for a while is Lofty on Algorand, and I know there's a platform. I covered it with real estate that's popping up on Hedera. I don't think it's live yet, but this stuff's really cool. It's cool to own. I own about $3,000 worth of real estate, and which is not a thing you can do normally. So I think it's kind of neat to just own a little bit. It's been a little experiment of mine, and I've learned a lot from it. So I like that Hedera and Algorand are both built for this. So good for Hedera for bringing Hitachi on board. I'm very curious to see how that partnership will continue in the future. But also interesting is, of course, the state of Hedera. Masari puts out these reports. Bookmark the ones for both Algorand and Hedera, and I'm sorry to bring Algorand up so much, but I just want to dig into this because I love when they do this stuff. So let's take a look at this. All right, so here's the thing. State of Hedera Q4 2022 is live. Click the free Hedera quarterly report from Nick D. Garcia in the tweet below. We will do that. Probably didn't need to read that. So here's some of the key insights, and I think that's the main thing we're going to go through. Hedera ended Q4 with an all-time high in TVL, and the increase was driven by the sustained success of Saucer Swap and the launches of Healy Swap and Bubble Swap. So we got some new launches of some new products on new DeFi protocols on Hedera, as well as Saucer Swap being sustainably successful. But also, one thing that does increase TVL is price. And we did see a price increase in November and December, and that does matter for TVL because TVL is usually measured in dollars, and so when your price will change your TVL, which is one of the things that I've said about TVL. It makes it kind of a difficult metric because you could have more activity, but if the price went down, then there's not as much activity, if that makes sense. So it's not a perfect metric, but hey. Increase is good, so I'm very happy to see that. And multiple of their network services set all-time highs, such as consensus service, crypto service, smart contract service, all experienced significant growth. But the token service showed less progress, which is interesting, right? Hedera Governing Council added this 27th member, which we just talked about, as well as the appointment of 2 C-suite executives. And Hedera Treasury had no exposure to FTX or Genesis. Well, that's good. Approximately 51% of the supply, according to them, is in circulation. And also, I don't know if I put that in somehow I cut it out, but they also put like 4.8 billion into ecosystem development. And that's really awesome too. So that's a nice little snapshot for Hedera in Q4. Looks good. Very positive news there. Like I said, TVL can be a little tricky to measure, and it definitely would have gotten a boost from the price increasing in November and December, but still positive news. And a good healthy thing for Hedera. Let's see what else we got here. Now this is interesting because in case you didn't know, Hedera is at Davos in the World Economic Forum conference, and you see it all over the place. This guy Max Williams is there, and he's giving us a front row seat to this. It's cool to see all the financial elites of the world. All the world leaders are getting exposed to Hedera, and that's really cool to see. Let's take a look because it's pretty neat. I mean, you can see Hedera all over it already. It's a very interesting looking crowd because you kind of see a little bit of. It's kind of reminded me of Dubai, the Decipher conference in Dubai. You saw like everybody from people who looked like very well-to-do folks to kind of people, just regular old folks like me. And they had this interview set up. You should definitely check out his page, by the way, if you want to see like the sound and everything. But yeah, kind of everybody's just walking by this Hedera booth, which I think is really neat. There's the Hello Future logo, which I think was a great. Do we see Lehman on there? It's even at the top of this agenda. I mean, they're all over this thing. That's great. Everybody's going to see this. Everyone's going to get exposed to Hedera. I think the more kind of stuff that you can see like this, the better. Look, it's just all over. I think that's great. And I mean, the Algorand conference I went to kind of looked like that, but I haven't, that was a conference for Algorand people. This is for like everybody. These are people who are not blockchain people, but they will be exposed to Hedera, and that's always a good thing. That exposure is just good. Cool looking bar, by the way, too. All right, well, you can watch that whole thing. Max Walker Williams. And what's cool about that is he actually went on a space with Mario Nafal to discuss. That was totally a recap of the World Economic Forum. And he went on there and talked about Hedera. I think that's really neat. I'm definitely gonna dive into that one. So make sure to check that out on Mario Nafal's page. Meanwhile, something a little more domestic, Ripple and Hedera unite to enhance the $1 trillion payments market. So, we already saw this partnership between Algorand and Hedera. And if you didn't see that, you can watch it on this video where we talk more about it. And we actually broke news of that. I don't know if anyone else had it but us, believe it or not, because John Woods told us that partnership was coming when I interviewed him in December. As far as we know, nobody knew that there was any kind of partnership brewing, but it turned out it was that REAC, whatever it was called, DREC, yeah, for recovering your assets. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second. So very, very cool that they're doing this, but now we see a partnership with Ripple too. And by the way, anyone can join that group. It's basically about ways to make recovery of crypto assets easier, especially for people who aren't that crypto native, which is what you want for adoption. Utopian Lab founder Max Walker-Williams, which we just mentioned, has shared a post on X featuring the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, and co-founder of Hedera, Dr. Lehman Baird. According to some enthusiasts, there could be a collaboration in the pipeline between the two projects. Ripple and Hedera are top two projects and going on to being members of the ISO. No, guys. Oh, God, the ISO 20022 stuff. Okay, hold on. We've covered this multiple times, and I just have to put this thing out there again. The ISO 20022 thing has nothing to do with crypto. There's nothing to do with blockchains. Like, yeah, you can be on the board and you can make dApps that are compatible, but we've covered this with people in the blockchain space. Like, there's nothing for you hear this thing like ISO 20022 crypto compliant crypto. There's no such thing. We've covered that. So go check out my video. I'll link it up below. So you can see it. But yeah, it's just one of those misnomers that it got started and it's around. Now, I'm not saying that, because to be fair, they say they're members, which I think you can, I know Ripple Labs is a member of the ISO 20022 board, which is probably a more accurate thing to say. But if you're a banking cryptocurrency and you're basically targeting banks, yeah, that's you'd want to be on that board. That would make a lot of sense. But that doesn't mean. Anyway, you can watch my video to get a better sense of it. We talked to John Allen Woods about it. Stacey Warden talked about it, the CEO of Algorand. By the way, they would have like a big reason to be in that. They're one of the coins that gets talked about as an ISO 20022 coin, but there's no such thing. Anyway, over the years, they have shown resilience in the face of regulatory and marketing challenges while unlocking new use cases. Interesting, Utopian Lab founder Max Walker-Williams indicated in X that he has met two leaders of these great projects to discuss the future of the industry. I don't know, let's see. Co-founder, the interview also discussed the possibility and the impact of collaborations and unity within the crypto sector. Now, they might have been specifically referring to the DREC alliance, which anyone can join. They want any blockchain to join that. Like, it's the idea is to partner on this to make crypto in general just much more usable, mostly through the recovery of crypto assets. So it's kind of interesting. This seems to be mostly a post about speculation at this point. Hey, anytime we can get in that kind of stuff, like, I think I'm all about it. So more partnerships. I like when these chains work together. I think the future is multi-coin. I don't think it's going to be one coin or another. And I think right now, rising tides lift all ships. That's what I'm thinking in the crypto space. So good to see that. And also good to see Hedera make the list of top 10 coins. Let's watch that clip and see what they have to say.
Hedera makes our list as the network approves a $408 million HBAR grant for ecosystem growth. The Hedera Council has today announced that it has voted to give the board approval to allocate 4.86 billion HBAR of additional funds towards further development of the Hedera network and enabling its decentralized governance. So the vast majority of that allocation, 4.248 billion HBARs, will be allocated by the Hedera board for ecosystem development among existing initiatives. So companies that are currently already doing this, already part of the system, HBAR Foundation, the Hashgraph Association, DLT Science Foundation.
So I do think it's a little weird that that's the only thing they talk about for the reason why it's in their top 10 list. Hey, great to see it make the list. I think that's great, and I'm a big fan of Hedera. Right now the price is it's down a little bit, starting to pop up a little bit again. So we'll see. We're obviously hit a top of about 9.6, and with a little spike over 10 cents. But I think the biggest stuff is yet to come for Hedera. Anyway, I'm super bullish on Hedera. I'm super excited that Hedera and Algorand are partnering and bringing in other blockchains for the DREC alliance. That's super cool. And yeah, I'm really happy about Hedera, so I hope you guys are too. Let me know what you're excited about in the comments below. As always, I'm Frugal BC. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the future.